Good evening, everyone. My name is Mariah Katayev. I am one of the emergency management planners for the Department of Emergency Management and Security, and I want to thank everyone for being here, either watching it recorded or live for the October monthly webinar. Before we get started, for our live viewers, if you have any comments or questions during this presentation, please do them as comments on YouTube, and they will show up in live time for us to answer. So it's a great way to keep the conversation going. And if you are watching this recorded, the good thing is, you'll still see us answering the questions, and it's really good information. So again, if you have questions, feel free to comment and they will pop up on the screen and we'll be able to answer them. So happy October, everyone. We have a couple of topics we're going to talk about, but first I want to take a second to introduce Candace Johnson, who is with Fairfax County Fire and Rescue. And Candace, you just want to kind of tell everyone what you do for the department?
Of course, and thanks for having me, Mariah. My name is Candace Johnson, everyone, and I'm coming to you from the Fairfax County's Fire and Rescue Department. I work in the Life Safety Education section, and in our section, we are all about fire safety and injury prevention. So I have some really interesting safety initiatives to share with you all this evening. And at the end of the video, I'll have contact information so that if there's additional questions, or even if some of the viewers would like to invite us out for presentations, we would love to hear from you. So we'll get started.
Awesome. Thank you, Candace. So I'm going to be going through a couple comments before we pull Candace back in as the fire subject matter expert that she is. But first, we're going to be talking about some more emergency management related topics today. So the first thing we're going to start off with is we are almost at the day for the Great SouthEast Shakeout. And if you don't know what that is, one, totally fine. Two, you have time to learn. It is the multi-state earthquake drill that happens at the exact time in the exact day throughout the whole region. And it's a great opportunity to really walk through as a community, family, and office about what a earthquake drill is, and what we should do during one and what we shouldn't do in one. And this is a really, really great program, and we're going to even talk about how you can register for it. And then at the end of it, we have the ability to see like how many people participated in Virginia. So it's a really big deal, and participate, keep our state numbers up, because it is really fun to look, the day after the drill to see how did Virginia do. Did we get a lot of people involved this year, or maybe we got to work on it a little more in the next year. So to get us ready for the Great SouthEast Shakeout, I wanted to show some visuals about how the drop, cover, and hold on is a great saying when it comes to earthquakes. And what it comes down to is we want you to get as low as possible, and we want you to get under something and hold on. But while saying that, it is important to understand that that's going to look different for a variety of mobility ranges, whether you have a disability or anything of that nature. So everyone talks about drop, cover, and hold on as, the drop to the ground, go under a table and hold on, but that's not applicable for everyone. And it's not fair to pretend that it is. We want everyone to have an equal ability to prepare for emergencies. So this is just a great visual on different things that we can do. So as starting from the left and then going across the screen, we have the standard one, and then we have using a walker. So it's a little different. You're going to lock your walker so during the earthquake it doesn't have the ability to roll. And what we're going to do is we're going to sit down on it, and then we're going to cover by protecting our head and neck, very similar to what you see children do for tornado drills. And then we're going to hold on and try to find something to cover our head with. So this way we're still getting lower, still covering our head and neck, and we're still holding on in a way that's not movable because the walker is locked. So it's just another way to prepare for and get through an earthquake. And then for canes, it's a little different because we still want you to drop, cover, and hold on, but we also understand that that can be a little difficult. But if it is possible, just take your mobility device with you so that post-earthquake you have the ability to safely get up. And that's important. And then using a wheelchair is very similar to the walker in the way that we want to lock our wheels and we want to cover and hold on in the durable medical equipment that we're using, or our mobility aid, depending on how you prefer to call it. So the same thing, we want to lock anything that is movable. We want to cover our head and neck, And then we want to hold on. So we want to stay in that position and we're kind of bracing. We're making sure that our head and neck is protected at all times until the earthquake calms down, understanding that aftershocks, which can be kind of described as the mini earthquake feelings that come after an earthquake, knowing that they are likely to occur, and just keeping an eye on that and making sure that we are in a situation where we can very quickly get back into that drop, cover, and hold on position again if we need to. So you might be saying, Mariah, this is great, but how do I participate? I haven't heard about the Great Southeast Shakeout before, and totally fair. So the link is on your screen, but there's also going to be a QR code on the next screen. If you are someone that has a smartphone, you'll be able to open up your camera and scan it that way. But you can register as a new participant or update your registration if you've moved, live in a different area, but still want to participate in the Great Southeast Shakeout. And again, it is a really great way to, feel a little more connected in emergency preparedness with your community, because you know that this is something that our whole region is doing together at the exact same day and at the exact same time. And how often does something like that happen? So as I stated on your screen right now, and I'll talk and hold this for a little bit so that you can pull out your phone, this QR code is going to go straight to the Great Southeast Shakeout register page, as you see on the bottom of the screen. And this is something that's free. There's no, catch or anything like that. It's just a great way to, make sure that community members get prepared and do it in a way that unites us as a community, because, emergencies don't discriminate. If an earthquake happens, it's going to hit all of us. So it's just a great way to make sure that our community as a whole prepares. And then the Great Southeast Shakeout is not the only thing that is happening this month. It is also a Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and I just wanted to take some time to talk about that today. And okay, I know there are people looking at this and cringing and being like, Mariah, why are we talking about online shopping safety? Because we associate that with the holidays and it's only October. One, we're always on Amazon or any other, online marketplace shopping, year round. It's not just a preparing for the holidays kind of shopping anymore. And there are a lot of people that prepare for their holiday shopping now because, sales come up and you want to get things when you can in the most affordable manner. So I just wanted to bring up 4 easy ways to stay safe shopping online. So number 1 is recognize and report phishing. And what that is if you get that email that looks a little funky that's saying, hey, your bank is saying this, this, and this, don't call your regular number, call this new number, or it's an email that looks like it's from your bank, but you're noticing multiple spelling errors in it. Things like that are phishing. They're trying to get you to take the bite that is letting them steal your data, information, your fiscal materials, anything of that nature. The other thing that you can do is use strong passwords. And this is something that we're going to talk about a little more in the next slide. So I'm not going to go too into it, but strong passwords is something that we hear all the time, but a lot of us still don't do it on a consistent basis, because a lot of people think that a strong password is one that's going to be hard to remember, and that's not always the case. And then turning on multi-factor authentication. And if you're wondering, what is that? It is something that to get onto an account or get onto a laptop or get on some sort of technology, it takes 2 sources. So for example, that would be if I typed my password to log into my email, but then the next step would be it says check your phone for notification, and then I'm unlocking it with my phone as well. And why that's important is, this way, if someone stole your phone or got an access to your computer, they don't have the other part to get into your email. They're still missing half the puzzle. So it's another security measure to protect your personal information. It's not just for emails. That was just an example I was using. Multi-factor authentication is used in a lot of different programs. And if you want to learn more about that, there are tons of resources out for that. And depending on what technology you use on your day-to-day basis, there might be an option in the settings actually to turn on multi-factor authentication. And then they'll walk you through the process that their product has to do that. And then the last one is turning on automatic software updates. So that would be, when your phone or computer says that there's an update. And I understand that these are kind of a pain in the butt to go through, but there's usually a reason these updates are happening. And that could be, using phones, for example. Maybe your phone company, whether it's Apple, Android, Google, found out that there was a security breach in their code. So this update is something that will lock the breach out, so you don't have to worry about it anymore. So those automatic updates are great because it's one less thing that you have to think about, but simultaneously you're also getting the security of going through the update. If you're not comfortable with the automatic software updates because you want to know when it's going on, most technology has a setting so that you'll get a notification when there's an option to go through your software update, and then you can usually select either remind me later or snooze or do it now. The important thing to note with software updates is technology has to restart afterwards. So if you're choosing to do a software update in that moment, make sure you don't have anything open that is unsaved, because we don't want you losing any information, whether that's a school or work project or an email or anything of that nature. So when you do a software update, it's going to restart your technology. So still worth it, of course, but just be aware of that and ensure that anything that you're working on that is in draft form is saved before you do that restart for that update. And like I said, we're going to go a little into the importance of a password. So on the screen, you're seeing what we don't like, which is the classic 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 password. And then you're seeing one that's not crossed out. And while looking at it, you'll see that not only does it have letters, it has lowercase and uppercase letters simultaneously. And then it also has a symbol, which for this, you see 2 in the middle, and then there's a number, the number 8. So that means there's a 4-type variation in the password. We have our lowercase, we have our uppercase, we have our symbol, and our number. And just doing that can make your password so much stronger. Now, there are other things that we can do to keep our passwords really strong in Cybersecurity Awareness Month and then year-round, such as, not having personal information in our passwords. And when I say that, I don't just mean your personal information. So let's say you are someone that uses social media, Facebook, or anything like that. And, a lot of us do. I definitely do. And on that, you post when it is your child's birthday, your grandchild's birthday, your sibling's birthday, your spouse's birthday. That means that anyone that gets access to that social media account, whether purposely or accidentally, now knows your child's birthday, spouse's birthday, etc. And that also means that their birthday should not be in your password. So there should not be, let's say their birthday is, we're just going to say January 1st, 2024. So having your password as 010124 is not that secure if every January 1st you've been making social media posts saying happy birthday to blah, blah, blah. Because a lot of hackers understand that these are easy to remember things and are commonly used as passwords for that reason. The other things that people commonly do that we don't recommend whatsoever is doing things connected to anything like using, if you have a bank PIN that you've used forever, also using that as passwords for your phone or anything else that is like a 4 to 6 digit PIN. Don't use anything connected to your super personal information, such as your social security number, any sort of personal identifiers we just don't want in that password. Because that means, one, like if you're using the birth year, it'll be easy for hackers to figure out. And 2, things like the social or the bank PIN, if they have access to one thing, that might get them access to the other. So we just really want to be careful about that and not use the same password for everything. And then we don't want to have anything in our passwords that's directly connected to something that we post on social media on the regular. The other thing is, I know it's October, but we're not too far into the 2024-2025 school year. So I always like this, be cyber prepared this school year post. And the reason for that is, in this day and age, everyone is on the internet, whether it's children, teens, or adults. And that means it's important to talk about them about cybersecurity and the importance of, there are people with malintent that are looking to do bad things on the internet and what we can do to lessen the chances of being a victim to this malintent. So that's such as, making sure that we have our antivirus or spyware software up and running and updated. So that is something that prevents or filters to lessen the chance of hackers or malware or anything that's going to hurt your computer affecting you. Your firewall, which blocks bad things, having that turned on and updated. And then talking to your children about, if they get an email that seems funky or seems too good to be true, not clicking on the link in that email. So an example of that, I always, I talk about video games. Maybe your child has a Gmail, so it's not connected to their school email, and they play a game like Roblox. If you don't know what that is, it's just, it's a video game that you can do on the internet with a lot of people, and you can talk to other people on the internet. But they also have an in-game currency. So talking to your children about, if you get an email saying, you won 2 million Roblox currency. I'm not exactly sure what it's called, but something like that, that sounds really exciting to them, but too good to be true. And just explaining to them that that's probably not a good thing. And it's probably, fraud looking to be something legit, and using the fact that they know that they play this game so that they'll click on the email, click on the link, and then unfortunately that's getting the virus into your computer. So just talking to your children about the dangers of that kind of stuff, and how, if we are getting any sorts of emails or links that just stand out, going back to those spelling errors or anything that just seems off, they should show their parents before clicking on the link. And, you should make the judgment on if we should just delete this and forget about this. When in doubt, I'm a big fan of deleting the email. And let's say it's something like a banking email and you're just not sure. You can always delete it and then call the trusted phone number for your bank that's usually on the back of debit or credit cards. So going through the route that is legitimate to take the concern out of that. So the last thing I want to say before I pass it over to our fire and rescue experts is, if you're not already doing it, please consider following us on social media. So Ready Fairfax is on Facebook, or X, formerly called Twitter, as well as Instagram. And we do try to stay, really busy on it, and we try to make sure that everything we have is not only relatable but informative. So if you don't follow us on Ready Fairfax on Facebook, X, or Instagram, I highly recommend looking into it. But Candace, it is your time to shine if you are ready.
All right, I'm all ready. Thanks again, Mariah.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for being here tonight. And I'll be here, but I'm excited to hear everything about life safety tonight.
Of course. Well, let me tell you, October is indeed a very, very busy month, because as you told us about cybersecurity, all of this, guess what? October is also all about fire safety awareness. So I'm here tonight to tell you all about only 2 of our safety initiatives. We have several other safety initiatives, but I'm just going to tell you about 2. I hope to come back again so that I can share more. So for starters, tonight we're going to talk about smoke alarms, as well as the File of Life, which is our medical information program. So here's a fun fact for you. Home fires happen often. In recent years, U.S. fire departments are responding to a home structure every 86 seconds. Wow, that's a lot. Smoke alarms save lives. Take the time to learn about smoke alarms and carbon monoxide detectors. It's really, really important to have smoke alarms, because you never know when an emergency will take place. So we have programs in Fairfax County. We want to make sure that everyone is safe. So let me tell you a little bit about our smoke alarm program. Well, before I do that, we'll talk a little bit about the smoke alarm basics. So, where should your smoke alarms be installed in your home? Well, smoke alarms should be installed in areas where people sleep. Why is that? That's because we want everyone to hear that smoke alarm and make sure they have enough time to react, especially if it's during a time where people are sleeping. How do we care for smoke alarms? Well, it's important to press the button on your smoke alarm, the tester button. Check it once a month, just to make sure that maybe there's no dust. And we also want to make sure that it's still working. So if you hear that beeping sound, guess what? Your smoke alarm is still working. So how long will a smoke alarm last? At most, guess what? At most, a smoke alarm can last for 10 years. That's right, I said it, 10 years. You want to make sure that, number one, as long as you're taking care of that smoke alarm by checking it once a month and clearing those areas out where it can maybe collect a little dust. So it can last up to 10 years. The next thing I want to tell you about, what is the best way to obtain a free smoke alarm from the Fairfax County Fire and Rescue Department? Well, if you take a look at this smoke alarm coupon, we have a link. And if you click on that link, we have a form that you'll complete, which will have your contact information, and it comes directly to our office, and we will indeed help connect you with the station in your neighborhood so that they will come out and install the smoke alarm for you. Now, we do not like to give our citizens, any of our community friends, any smoke alarms in their hand. Why is that? That's because we want to make sure that smoke alarm is installed properly. And some of your friendly firefighters will come out to install that smoke alarm for you. The next thing I want to talk about are smoke alarms available for hearing impaired individuals? The answer to that is yes. So again, once you click on the link and you complete the information, which has your phone number and your home address, you can contact us, or we'll contact you, and we will put you in, we will help you connect with a hearing impaired smoke alarm. So if you do not need the hearing impaired smoke alarm, or if you simply need one with a carbon monoxide alarm, we will be happy to help you with whichever smoke alarm you need. Does anyone have any questions at this time? Because guess what? We're going to move on to learn about our second safety initiative. We're going to learn about the file of life now. So what is the file of life? The file of life. The file of life is this form you see in front of you, and it's magnetized so that it's complete with all of your emergency contacts, your personal information such as your date of birth, your language spoken, and there's also information for your emergency contacts, as well as any pre-existing medical conditions, as well as your medications. Because guess what? When you make that call and our first responders arrive, you may not have an opportunity because of your emergency to respond as you typically would. So this is where the file of life comes into play. The file of life provides an opportunity so that all of your information is readily available. And whenever you all arrive at the hospital, first responders pass this information off to the medical personnel, the nurses, or the doctors. And whenever it's time for a new file of life, guess what? We'll be here for you. So who should have a file of life? Anyone in the home that's typically left alone. We do not recommend for children. Why is that? Because children are typically under the care of an adult. So this is typically for adults that may have pre-existing medical conditions or that take medications. So that again, when and if first responders need to come, all the information is provided. So how should one maintain a file of life? Well, for starters, you'll need to complete that file of life in its entirety. Make sure that it's complete and up to date so that it can act on your behalf if you need to call for help. Lastly, how can I obtain a file of life? All you do is use that link for the Fairfax County Fire and Rescue Department, and we are happy to help you obtain a copy of the file of life. And another thing, we always encourage our friends in the community to take one for a friend or a neighbor. So there are 3 components included in the file of life. 1, the red magnetic sleeve. 2, the large insert. And 3, the smaller pocket file of life insert. So on the next slide, we're going to see a picture of what it looks like. So if you take a look here, the file of life is placed on the side of the refrigerator because the whole idea is so that whenever first responders arrive, we want them to look for this so that they are able to retrieve the information and start to give care based off of the information that you've included. And this is file of life instructions. Typically, whenever we share file of life packets with our community friends, we always provide the instructions so that if you get stuck or if you have questions, our information is provided for you, or you can look online. There's also the form that you can print. So if you need an extra copy, there will be additional copies available to you online. So the next thing I want to share with you is all about sleeping with your doors open or sleeping with them closed. That's a question I have for everyone. So in the video that you're going to see, you're going to see the dramatic difference a door can actually make. So we'll cue the video and we'll have a small discussion about it after the video.
Oh, that is insane.
In the event of a fire, who here thinks that you're safer sleeping with the doors open?
I keep them open because I was a mom for so long.
My kids' room is 2 doors down from mine.
Always open.
I'm not all that confident they would stop anything anyway. Harold, hey. Ben, nice to meet you.
Harold, have a seat.
Okay.
Hi, nice to meet you guys.
Hello. I'm right here.
Chris, how are you?
Great.
As you think about fire safety, what keeps you up at night?
Yeah, I'm not too concerned. I probably don't think about a fire threat as much as I should because I do forget to turn things off often.
Have you ever been through one?
A fire? No.
We told you that you'd be coming here today for discussion, but what we didn't tell you is that there is also a demonstration that we want to show you. Sound good? I want to introduce you to Steve, the director of the UL Firefighter Safety Research Institute. I'll let Steve take it away.
Welcome. My job is to lead a team of people that study how fire grows and spreads so we can keep you safe. Here at the Delaware County Emergency Services Training Center, we essentially turn this place into a laboratory. We've got several structures around here that we build to simulate where you live. And one of those structures is right here behind me. What I want you to do is I want to take you inside here and I want you to see how this looks like your home. And then once we get you outside, we're going to go ahead and recreate what would happen if there was a fire in this structure right here. Look pretty normal? Yeah, got some furnishings. You'll notice the difference down here as we walk down. This bedroom door will be closed and the one at the end of the hall will be open. And what I want you to do is pay attention to comparison of the two of those and think about you and your family trying to survive this fire. All right, we just hit the button. We have ignition.
Oh boy, there she goes. Oh man, that is scary.
It's scary, right?
It's really crazy.
Look, we have smoke coming out over here already.
Smoke's coming out.
What a lot of people don't realize is that the furnishings that are in our homes today are made of synthetic materials. So they burn so much faster than your old natural cotton-filled furnishings used to be. The statistics that we've seen through our research is in about 40 years ago, you had about 17 minutes to get out of your house after the smoke alarm sounded. Now you have less than 3 minutes.
Holy crap. See, this is the things that we were. Oh my God. Whoa. Can you feel that? How can you survive that? Seriously. That is insane.
All right, go ahead, knock it down. All right, as you remember, closed door on the left, open door on the right. And you can see the dramatic difference between the two with the simple closed door.
Impressive.
We want people to be as prepared as possible and understand the importance and how little time you have and what that simple barrier can provide to you and your family should you have a fire. I want you guys to throw some hard hats on and some safety glasses and at least poke your heads in the windows, or you can even walk in the hallway if you want.
Give me a word or phrase to describe what you just saw.
Anxiety.
Frightening.
Terrifying.
I really didn't expect anything like this.
I'll ask you one last time. In the event of a fire, are you safer sleeping with the doors open or the doors closed?
Without a doubt, the door closed.
definitely with the doors closed. And from now on, the doors will be shut at night.
Definitely closed.
Closed.
Definitely closed. And I'm surprised by it.
It's always great to be able to get the message out when we can take our research and get it out into the community to change behavior with the message of close before you doze. It feels great, and hopefully we can save lives.
If there was one bit of advice that you could give friends or family today, what would it be?
Close before you doze.
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 The key fire safety messages we want people to have are, one, have working smoke alarms in every level of your home, inside and outside every sleeping room. We want everybody to have an escape plan. Should you have a fire, you should know how to get out quickly. And if you can't get out quickly, having a closed door between you and where that fire is critical to your survival.
So yes, it is important to sleep with your doors closed. And remember, it all starts with having a working smoke alarm. So that is why we want to continue to share the information and educate our community on the importance of having working smoke alarms. And again, making sure that you know your friends here at the fire department. We have our smoke alarm program. So please, please contact us so that we can help and make sure that you have working smoke alarms. So this month, as we said before, it's all about fire prevention, cybersecurity awareness, as well as the Great Southeast Shakeout. So we would love for all of our friends in the community to come and join us for open house. Now we have Fire Prevention Week. All of our educators are out at the schools and the libraries, the churches. They are out spreading the information about smoke alarms and making sure everybody has all of their fire safety information because we want everyone to be safe. So if you have time, please come out with your family to your local fire station. All the fire stations are preparing special displays along with some fun activities for the whole family on Saturday, October the 12th. So don't forget to come out, say hello to the firefighters, and learn more about fire safety. Lastly, please use the information on the screen to reach out to our section in Life Safety Education. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you.
So, Candace, that was great. That video is definitely really, really powerful. And I think it shows how that one action makes a life-saving difference. Wouldn't you agree?
I totally agree. And again, it all starts with having that working smoke alarm, because if your door is closed and that smoke alarm is giving you the alert that, wait, there's trouble, there's fire, having a plan and simply getting that notice, you have more time to get out. So 100%.
Well, on that note, what would you want to say to those individuals that hear their smoke alarm not going off, but chirping, and then they just kind of, say that the chirp is just what the fire alarm does?
Well, we want people to make sure that, number one, if you're checking it, if it continues to chirp, guess what? It's alerting you that that battery is getting old. It doesn't start off the same way. Sometimes it starts out as a small beep, and then the beep gets longer and longer. It's time to change that smoke alarm. And if you don't know what to do, we don't want you to remove your smoke alarm. We want you to call your friends at the fire station. If you're not sure which fire station, guess what? Call our office. We are happy to help.
That's so important. And I'm really glad that you guys are such a not only a valuable resource, but an available resource that is willing to really help the community and fill in the gaps of knowledge, just because you guys are the experts on this and you know so much more than it's just great. And it's great how willing you guys are to educate everyone within the community.
We absolutely are. And it just takes that one small step. If you're not sure, you can even call the number 703-246-3801. We are there to answer your questions. And we want to reassure everyone we're doing all that we can to prevent that 911 call.
And that's great. And I was also just, it was so fascinating to hear exactly how busy, it is in terms of how often, fires are happening. It is something that can be really hard to grasp at first, that they're just, this sounds bad, but they're that common. And, you know,
They are very common. And, we just like to offer the reassurance in the community. We have well-trained personnel that are out in the field every single day. And we also have educators that want to hear from you. If you're not sure, we are here to help. That's why we're in the schools. If we're teaching children all about prevention, if you see lighters and matches, we want children to find a grown-up so that the grown-up can put them in a safe place. And if there's an emergency in the home, if there's a fire, we want everyone to know what to do. And that's why we make sure that children learn about home escape plan so that the family can be involved. This is something that the entire family can do.
And that's another really important fact, the fact that it really can be, a family educational event, especially this open house you guys are talking about. It sounds like it's a great way to get children involved and really have them learn in a really safe manner. So I think it's great that you guys are taking the time to make this open house happen and really allow for some hands-on learning. That is fantastic. And
yes,
for those, I hope people come to it genuinely. It's just education really is power and security, as like we saw with that video. It's easy to be ignorant on these kinds of things. So
it is. And that's why we're out in the community every single day promoting. We want everyone to know what to do. So that's why we do what we do.
You work hard. I see Candace all the time at events, so I can say personally that she works very hard at educating the community. And thank you so much, Candace. If there is one thing you would want someone watching this to take home with them, what would that be?
The one thing I would want people to take home with them is please, please, please remember, smoke alarms are very important. If you hear the chirping sound, give it attention. If you're not sure what to do, call us. We are here to help. So remember, smoke alarms save lives.
Thank you so much, Candace. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. And now, before we log off, there's just one more thing that I want to tell everyone about, and that is just what's going on next month. So just so everyone's aware, next month's monthly webinar will be on Wednesday, November 6th. So if you are available, it will be at 7 p.m. like always, and we hope that you will be there and tune in. But thank you, everyone, for watching this, whether live or recorded, and thank you for our partners that made this happen. And I hope everyone has a great rest of their evening. Thank you.